Hello Moment friends! Andang here for another episode of March of the King. When we last left off, we were getting ready to go and talk with Aragorn and continue on the epic story, but I do recommend checking out the last couple of episodes if you have not already. We interacted with Frodo, Sam, and Gollum and the Rangers. Well, we didn't, but we got to see how that happened and it was really cool. So I do recommend if you haven't seen those episodes yet to go back and check them out. But now we're moving forward and talking with Aragorn.
Enemies may remain hidden by the beauty of this land.
Our journey through Ithilien has reassured me that it remains beautiful. But this sword cuts with both edges, for enemies can still lurk unseen among the pastoral beauty of this land. As the rangers of Ithilien surprise their foes, so too can those foes seek to surprise us. Travel further ahead to the northeast, and look for signs of trouble. Golastin tells me that there is a location to the northeast that might offer a good vantage point of the road ahead. Orndil, a ranger of Ithilien, went to that location and might have seen something. Alright, let's go look at this location. Alright, and we also need to collect toad slimes. Let's start that off. Here we go. Oh goodness, that would be the toad slime kicking in. Alright. And there we go, the last of the slime from the river toads. Thank goodness that quest is done. Alright, we now need to lay traps around Hinethanoon, so let's go ahead and do just that. The Ranger Ordnil nods at you as you arrive at his lookout location. You spy movement to the northeast, but cannot tell for certain. Okay, why are we scouting the same location as somebody else already is?
Did you see that?
I believe I saw movement over there among the trees to the northeast. Let us make our way there and see if our eyes play tricks upon us, or if there is some foe lying in wait. That is the pass of Cirith Negin, and my people have long used it to surprise our foes. They may seek to turn the tables upon us, and use our own ambush spot against us. Yeah, well, if you keep the same ambush spot, I think that's kind of your issue. Alright, and I cannot find where we're supposed to be placing these traps. This is, like, seriously, I don't know where they are supposed to be in here. They must be very well hidden ranger traps or something. Ah, here is a trap location. Here we go. A ranger stumbles out of the bush. Well, that's interesting. Goodbye. Okay. Thanks for talking, buddy. Sorry about getting your location discovered. Oh my. Here we go, the final ideal trap location. There we go. Got all the traps done. The lowlands to the west of Hinethanoon are still, but your foes have passed through recently. Hello, random person. Have you seen the cats of Kulandar lurking nearby, Andang? They are terrible beasts bred to only maim and kill the enemies of their masters. When those enemies are absent or hidden away like my brethren, the battle cats sate their hunger on any creature they can find. The lands of Ithilien are wild, yes, and the beasts know the many ways through the shadows of these woods. But the battle cats are trained to outpace and outsmart them. I have even heard tell they have the strength to slay the bears of Ithilien. I would ask that you defeat them before they can cause great harm to the order of beasts in Ithilien. Worse yet, their keen noses might lead them to our refuges. You will find them to the north, but be wary, my friend. Be very wary. In the wake of the great battle, The healers of Gondor and Rohan alike are strained, and their stores will soon run low if we do not help replenish them. Gondor has long been a source of various remedies and tinctures, and nearly all of them through the use of the flowers and herbs that grow in Ithilien. This task has not often fallen to the rangers in recent years, but the need is great now, and we must all do our part to ease the ills of the wounded. Among the most common of Ithilien's herbs and flowers are the oxtip, horsetail, and vetchling. Each can be ground into a beneficial extract that can be combined into powerful medicine by skilled healers. Search nearby for the lushest of these plants and bring them to me. Once you have gathered them, return to me and we can speak of how to harvest the extracts. Geez, this guy keeps having more and more quests. Could you have a moment, Andeng? Since I have asked you to harvest the flowers and herbs of Ithilien, I also task you with the planting of new seeds. It may seem a foolish errand with the enemy forces looming so near to us, but if we are to fight for a bright future in Gondor, we will have need of Ithilien's bounty. To the west lies the field of Cormallen, a verdant field wreathed by some of Ithilien's most striking trees and flowers. Seeds of many kinds can be found amongst the grass, especially those of oxlip, horsetail, and vetchling. The seeds should be very easy to find. Oxlip seeds resemble those of maple tree. Vetching seeds appear nearly identical to chestnuts, and horsetail seeds are indistinguishable from acorns. Gather many of them, and then plant as many as you are able in the lowlands surrounding the field of Cormallen. Once you have done this, return to me. As battle on the Pelennor ended, many of the enemy's foes broke their ranks and fled back across the Anduin. Among those we sighted at least 4 trolls fleeing into Ithilien. I fear they might still live within these lands. For trolls are a troublesome foe for my brethren. They are not as easily felled, and can often flee before one of our arrows lands a killing blow. However, these trolls do not possess the hardier stock of the Orglai High, and they would be vulnerable to the rising sun. Search the lands nearby for the 4 trolls, and when you are satisfied they no longer pose a threat, return to me. Alright, well, you are the quest master, I suppose. He was just like an endless valley of quests. Good grief. And there we go, we took out all the battle cats, so now we can move on to the next quest. Alright, and there we go, we collected all the flowers. Now, since he's right here, let's go ahead and return to him and learn what else must be done.
What tidings do you carry this day?
The Dark Lord may not care for the health of his lands, but Ithilien must remain verdant and wild. Having such a predator lurking in our wilds would not bode well for any of us, even though that would make it more wild and more authentic to the actuality. Anyway, it is unfortunate that the Kundalar have raised their cats in such a way, but it cannot be helped now, and too much is at stake. But you have my thanks.
Faith alone will not stop the enemy.
Excellent work, my friend. You have gathered them just as swiftly as I hoped. With a careful hand, you can grind these flowers into useful extracts. Here. Ereblin takes the bundle from you and begins to grind them into small mortar. There are many plants in the gardens of Ithilien, and some are much rarer than the rest. However, all of them are of great worth to healers of Gondor. So look closely and harvest as many as you can as you explore these lands. Now then, there are a few among our number that have been tasked to make swift trips to the White City. If you give them the files you have collected, they may be able to offer you something of use in return. Our swift riders can be found at the crossroads to the south in Hinnathanoon, and far to the north among the camps of the borders of Daglad. Your aid could make a tremendous difference in the aftermath of the great battle, so I would urge you to bring those files to them as soon as you are able. Note, barter vendors for extract files can be found at the crossroads, Hinnathanoon, and Aragorn's camp on the border of Daglad. Alright, there we go. We got the various files. Fantastic. Alright, well, I think that does bring this episode to a close. Thank you everyone so much for watching another episode of March of the King. When we return, we will make our way through these other quests and hopefully continue on the March of the King. But that's not until next time. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and I'll see you again real soon for another episode of March of the King.